Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Angoville. Between the south, we got here Fortune fighting for Germany. Das Vaterland taking on the role here of the Panzer Division versus the north. We got Tomakaze fighting for America, freedom and democracy. Rolling out here with the 2nd Armored Division, ready to take on those Germans. We're looking at Lightning War, German Mechanized, Austrian with Panzer Infantry and Mine Bulletins versus Rifle, Armor and Airborne Company with Triple Infantry there for Tomakaze going to double rifle start. Also, a quick message here right at the beginning. If you do send in a replay, provide links to where on the leaderboard. So I mentioned this at the end of every replay or episode, but apparently no one actually bothers to listen to that part, so I have to say it up here. Links to the leaderboard details. Again, otherwise, I'm not really going to put much effort into looking into a replay. Sorry, but you know, time is money when I have to check for a lot of replays. So, you know, not happening again. There's actually providing some details, sort of gives me some kind of incentive to actually watch your replay. Quick note again, it doesn't matter how exciting you say it is, it does matter because again, people tend to, kind of inflate a bit, how amazingly they played or how amazing they fight, because from their perspective. I'm sorry, but that's just kind of how it is. So again, leaderboard details. I kind of need some kind of, baseline for how competent you actually are. So that's out of the way as well there. Again, links to those wanted and replaced by video description, where you can also find links where you can support me either Patreon or PayPal, which was also most appreciated. So do consider, as it does help me out a ton. Anyways, got Pioneer 740 reservation. We got a big aggressive push up these and stuff for 14 on Angoville. Then again, not what I'd recommend. It's always very risky, particularly stuff from the north. It tends to be sort of a lot more risky than you go from the south. But generally, sort of careful as to very much sort of go hard into eastern Angoville, as it can backfire on you. We've got an early mortar here for Tomakaze. MD42 remaining positions here, so double grenadiers, MD42 versus double rifle mortar for Tomakaze. Also, very early rifle company here for Tomakaze, opening up there for flamethrowers, EC8s, white phosphorus barrages, and who knows what. Got the MD42 bouncing up here, Reaston standing about right in the open, and will probably find themselves under fire very soon enough. And there you go, mortar immediately opening up there on Fortune's MD42, and that's definitely going to force Fortune to have to reconsider his early plan here. Otherwise, nice aggressive push up the eastern side, though of course at the same time mostly functional because, well, Tomakaze so far is focused on the western side. In theory, there's also the potential to sneak up here and flank behind, though in this case Fortune is aware of that possibility. It's already occupying the house there with the Grenadier squad until he can sort of lock it down some way or the other. So basically the map last being split 50-50 here. Third rifle squad there for Tomakaze. Rifling room from the west towards east. We've got the Grenadiers inside the house, and there you go, pretty much preventing Tomakaze there from making a coup de main around the cut-off point. And again, this has sort of tend to be important overall. The corners like here, and here sort of tend to be sort of the important areas of Angoville. Pearson's following up there for Tomakaze. Pioneers rushing straight into the house there. Also note the area here has been wired off, so you can actually risk now someone getting caught here if they're not careful and being wiped. Grenadiers moving about, MD42 slightly repositioning, wants to cover the victory point there. Reason's getting inside the house, and Rifleman standing about here, not entirely sure what they want to do. With the lone Grenadier squad there from the Panzer there being dispatched westwards. Slightly falling back towards the fuel point here, feeling a bit exposed with the mortar about there. He doesn't know exactly what his opponent's up to. We've also got Telemans going down around the small choke point here. Grenadiers standing about there victoriously, standing with their backs towards the strategic point. Ja, wie geht's es? Ja, wir heroes. Probably not. So MD42 Grenadiers position is shifting about constantly there, which obviously makes it a bit harder for Tomakaze to predict where his machine gun is and deal with it. There we go, shots fired, then rifle immediately suppressed. Mortar fire, they're probably going to be on the MD42, but the rifle getting charged by the Grenadiers, the mortar's going to be open. We got flamethrowers on the rear, since the rifle pushed away, but there you go, mortar fire and then MD42. We got not much else going on there from him. We got sandbags up here by the fuel point. Grenadiers are pushing forwards and lastly successfully forcing Tomakaze to slightly fall back there. His plans here so far thwarted. Interesting enough, I mean, he could have taken the flamethrower team and over here began moving down southwards here and set up for a flank here, that way getting up next to here. Then attack ground through the hedgerows, attacking the house inside there, basically forcing the Grenadiers out there, but then allowed him to sort of rush to the point there, and that way getting behind Fortune's forces here. All the Grenadiers are being overwhelmed by rifle and forced away there. There's too many Yankees with too many bullets.
Captain just took the battlefield.
Captain out there for Tomakaze. Rifleman reinforcing. Good to go once more. Meanwhile though, Fortune is striking against his opponent's 12 points, sensing he doesn't quite have the same defense there. He makes for a quick cut there. Raiding forwards for Germany. Nice move there. We got a light Mechanized company going for Fortune. Captain out there for Tomakaze. Could open for Stuarts. Pack howitzers. I mean, with the way sort of Fortune is digging in, a pack howitzer could be a pretty solid choice though. The pack howitzer is, I think, rather undervalued at the moment by American players. It is pretty good for an artillery piece, in particular since it also has access to white phosphorus, which is an ability that gets underestimated by a lot of American players as well. But there you go, ambulance out for Tomakaze, second reaction squad. That will probably be more flamethrowers rather than defending the cut-off point. Barely making it through though, barely. Like only 2 guys left. Fortunately going for the half-tech, could be a flamethrower half-tech, could be for reinforcement purposes. We'll have to see what Fortune ends up with. His machine gun a bit more static here. But so far, Tomakaze not sensing a point of maybe sort of assaulting it under cover of smoke. Moving up the moat a bit further there. Aggressive ambulance play there by Tomakaze, nice to see. He's more active, I suppose. I mean, it's not frightfully aggressive, but it's more active. It's not just, you know, pop it by here by the base and, you know, forget about it. There you go, Cat moving forward. We've got the half-tech moving ahead and meet Schützen Panzerwagen, colloquially known as the Hanomag, as it was produced by Hanomag. And there you go, rolling ahead, going straight for the rifleman with no anti-tank rifle needs the easy target here for the machine gun mounted on the front. Grenadiers are supporting, we have no light machine guns, we've got pioneers up support here. Falling back, bazooka on the way for Captain Rifleman moving forward. There we go, veterans who won, need to be careful with the half-track now. We got Grenadiers further assisting here. Small mechanized group here, advancing on Tomakaze's lines. And there you go, finally abandoning the house here, just as reactions then get behind. We got double flamethrowers up here. All of a sudden, Fortune is finding himself slightly outmaneuvered here in a bit of a sticky situation. He makes the big push. Instead, finds himself being the one being pushed against. But he's, oh, snap! Is he running into the house there? Oh, looks like he wasn't, thankfully. Otherwise, he could risk losing the Grenadiers there because they're low on health already. And if they didn't take any loss, they've just been caught by the barbed wire. There we go, they're actually caught here. Oh dear. Hoisted by his own petards. I'm pretty sure he wired off both entrances. It's definitely being hoisted by own petard. That is a bit embarrassing there for Fortune. That cost him just 240 manpower. They've got swimming on for Tomakaze here. Fortune in a pretty sticky situation. MD42 down its own, trying to keep Tomakaze there held down. Grenadiers half-tech need to fall back here to a more defensive position until more infantry can be brought forwards. Panzer Grenadiers will be great. He's going for the tank gun, which is actually good considering there's a Stuart on the way here. Troops are getting blasted by machine gun fire from the half-tech Grenadiers, also doing the can with the K9 TKs. Tomakaze, they're slowly bleeding out, and he does not have access to the half-tech. His ambulance is back. It basically cannot reinforce the front line. So in that regard, Fortune here, of course, has the advantage thanks to the half-tech. And that certainly, again, displays a bit the power of the half-tech, and it allows you to maintain a more constant frontline presence, being any sort of engagement not close to the base, for example. You can sort of slowly but surely win it, and then actually push forward without having to reinforce or anything like that. So in that regard, the half-tech is just a pretty good force multiplier on its own. Pretty weak, but again, working with other units, again, it really does a lot for them, just sort of offensively, even defensively. We got the Pack 40 out here. He's still pushing forward, needs to be careful here with this Stuart about. Can risk, you know, getting rashed and loose in the half, in particular since currently he does not have any munitions. Of course, Tomakaze does not know how many munitions Fortune has, but, you know, bit of bad luck and he will know. Got the Pack 40 up, picked up senior pressure in the car front here. Fortune's assault here is working out. The half-tech is ranged veterancy 2 already. Again, gaining experience for nearby troops as well. Allowing it to quickly hit veteran 2 and veteran 3. Veteran 3 actually gets a small converse boost itself, but over the bigger bits is it can just reinforce troops from further away. So that also gives us some advantage. There you go, big assault here straight to the M42. He's going to need a smoke screen down from the mortar here to really push through. Oh, he's not. He's just a bit desperate here. Thinking short-sighted terms, and that is allowing Fortune to extract some higher casualties there on Tomakaze's men. But again, the half-tech here proving, I think, very critical there to Fortune. Had he not had it, he would not be able to make the pushes he actually made and secure the gains he actually did. So, I mean, the half-tech here really just proving itself why it is actually a damn good unit to have in the arsenal. We got more telemines down here. We can see sort of trying to set up there for the Stuart. Light tank wherever he goes. Now he's heading towards the west. Again to the east side. It's undefended. And of course Tomakaze realizes this and begins moving down towards it. I mean, Fortune could pop up more Grenadiers inside the half track. Move swiftly in for a counter-attack here, but looks like he is more or less set. He can't defend while once again in the west. So not really the best trade-off in a sense. But on the other hand, I think he actually bled out Tomakaze more there than he suffered. So it kind of works out Tomakaze setting up for deep flank here, possibly going to move up through here, sneak up, and that way sort of hit up behind here. That's not a bad idea. All the way we got Panzergrenadier there on the way for Fortune, and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision, which was probably one of the best Panzer divisions in terms of equipment. For example, in Normandy, in fact, it was one of only 2 divisions to actually ever be fully equipped with armoured half-tracks, which is actually incredibly rare. Most Panzer divisions would at most have like 1 battalion, maybe 2. Like, for example, the 1st Panzer Division did, like, during Operation Barbarossa. But otherwise, it was incredibly rare for a Panzer Division to have more than 1 battalion of it. But the Panzerlehr had fully armoured. The only other Panzer Division was the 21st, but those were converted from French half-tracks. But they did have a few unique designs amongst them. So a little fun fact there. Rather than charging 40, big mistake. Don't underestimate, by the half-track machine gun. It roughly, I think, does something the damage as an LMG-42 there, so it can actually inflict a bit of damage, then actually get a few kills there if you're not cautious around it. In particular, once it hits veteran flee. Here's the next target for the mechanized infantry group here. Putting some good use of it, but at the same time, though, he's a bit losing in terms of map patrol, and that is allowing Tomakaze to move ahead. And again, with more infantry and the panzer gunners, in this case, you should be able to turn the target once more versus Tomakaze and the 2nd Armoured. Grenadiers pulling back to the half. You can see setting up for something. Double Grenadiers there. Pack 40, MD42 moving ahead. He looks like to be rushing ahead here, and I think he's going straight for the Stuart here. He is. He's rushing the Stuart with Panzerfausts. A bold maneuver there. Problem is, he's going to lose the half-track like this because the Pack 40 wasn't able to support in time, so while I can sort of see the idea here, I'm not entirely sure it was worth sacrificing a half-track for it. This sort of thing would actually have a squad with Panzer Grenadiers with Panzerschrecks inside to really pull off. So in this case, the Stuart gets away, and he lost his half-track, so that wasn't quite as fruitful as it could have been. Bit of a waste, really, in particular since he could have popped Panzer Grenadiers inside it, and you rushed after him. There you go, we've got White Phosphorus calling down here. Wily Pete. And Grenadiers get caught in it. Very nasty stuff. And we got Mechanized from Fortune. We got Mechanized Doctrine versus Rifle Company. This is certainly getting interesting. Grenadiers are going to wipe you by the captain on retreat. Pretty bad move there with Fortune. Not only did he lose the half-track, he lost the Grenadier squad here to an ill-advised rush attempt on the Stuart. I'm guessing he just really wanted to silence it and got a bit of a crazy idea into his head. I mean, had he timed the Pack 40 better, he probably could have pulled it off, but his half-track went a bit further ahead than the rest of the unit, and that cost him there. In that regard, being able to coordinate all of the elements with good timing can be quite vital doing such more risky attempts, and that didn't quite work out here. But still, he's got the Panzer Grenadiers, which will help. The Panzer Grenadiers is still a rather solid infantry unit, as I've in many recent episodes pointed out. Hopefully that message is beginning to stick a bit. He's going for more Grenadiers here. Probably recommend more Panzer Grenadiers, to be honest, but I'm guessing the Stuart here is causing him to want more Panzerfaust. So you should probably also get out a support course from this pause and bring out some medium armour. As opposed to things go completely sour, he can try and call in the command tank instead, or at least initially, though long term it is not advisable. Sort of rely on that. He's also not too far from being able to call in a howitzer, bring in some artillery there to crush Tomakaze's men. But right now, Fortune and the Panzerlehr's lost a lot of ground here. The 2nd Armoured infantry is blasting ahead here, supported by the Stuart light tank. Whoa, I'm guessing that was a misclick of some sort there. Happens. Or possibly an attack on a specific unit, at which point the mortar just pursues as fast as it can. I'm not entirely sure what happened there for Tomakaze, but I'm assuming no matter what, that was a mistake of some order. They're very fun when it happens, though. So shan't blame him for that. Major out there for Tomakaze. There's clearly setting up there for the EC8. He could maybe consider fuel cache to support things. Or munitions cache to bring up more munitions for rifles. That is BARs and bazookas maybe. Prepare for other nasty bits. We'll have to see what Tomakaze ends up with. In service of democracy and liberty everywhere. Panzers there hiding about behind the wall. Grenadiers advancing. Reactions moving up there. We got a mortar up for Fortune. Bit of light to support himself. Still no sign of attack. About to land. Oh dear, poorly timed there. Almost got a wipe, but not quite. And Grenadiers are marching forward for the point here, but they are quickly caught in their crossfire, and a retreat is hastily ordered by Sergeant Steiner, realizing he does not want to throw away men needlessly. But certainly again, that engagement here rather critical for Tomakaze and Fortune specifically, as again all of a sudden things rather lost a lot of ground again. The half-tick was really sort of vital to maintaining a good presence with his infantry on the front line, and without that he's much more easily pushed back now here by Tomakaze. Fortune is bringing out a second pack 40, might indicate he's planning for tier 4 or something else. Oh wait, he's playing a delaying game and not just rushing for medium armor as fast as possible. Do it there, covering the advance of the air stones, forcing the Panzer goes up. We got the German mortar there firing now in support of the men of the 2nd Panzer Division. Not 2nd Panzer Division. Bit of a mess up there in my half. We got the pack 4, they're moving up. Sturt's going to move straight to the line of fire of it. And direct hit there. Need to fall back with the Sturt. Oh, snap. Gonna move down, he's going to Panzer Faust it. Possibly before it hits into the teller mine, wasting all that, which could be used another tank down the road. And before it needs to fall back, but there goes Sturt, goes up in a bloom of fire, and we got the command tank out here for Fortune. Befehls Panzerwagen mobilized. Mortar there being attacked through the wall here, flamethrowers somehow trying to breach it, and it somehow is working a bit. But we got the command tank here, supported by Panzer Discord. Kennedy is already by the point, charging forwards. Hauptmann Helmut charges ahead, there we go. Sense there's American running away like the rats they are. Captain there flanking up, going to engage the pack 40. Trying to clear that, maybe damage. We've got an EC8 on the way there for Tomakaze and the 2nd Armoured. EC8 on the way, and the command tank rolling ahead. Not worried about any threats. He knows what his bonus Doctrine is gone for. He also knows what he's got, and there's pretty much no way Tomakaze has actually laid down any mines. Meanwhile, got White Phosphorus called down here on Fortune's point around the cove. Position. Oh, he's accidentally moving the pack 40 since Panzer's all been caught in the White Phosphorus. This is actually kind of bad. There's a bit of trouble. Got Rears from the flamethrowers burning them up. Need to get the pack 40 out of their Fortune. Schnell and the Panzer is not doing too well either. The White Phosphorus burns horribly. Oh dear, that was pretty bad there for Fortune. Could have been worse, but definitely wasn't good either. And now we can see that Tomakaze has brought up the EC8. There's these pioneers on the run from the mighty Sherman. As relentlessly pummels away with the 76mm gun. So right now Fortune is in a sticky situation. I mean, he does have double pack 40s, but he doesn't have a lot of the map. The victory points wise, so he's still got a fat lead over Tomakaze. He does have some time in the dots, so they have to rush against his opponent there. But he can't really afford to sit in this longer because he then risks Tomakaze just gaining so much more fuel. He can just begin throwing tanks at him like they're candies. That's generally not the sort of situation you want to end up in. Straight into the EC8 there, Panzer goes immediately suffer a loss. Feldwebel kaput. Slight unit there sneaking up the west side. Probably gonna do this there, not enough great though. Pack force have round to push back the EC8. Panzers they're almost wiped up. That's 2 would be a shame here for Fortune to lose them. Would be a big fat shame. Slowly approaching there, taking fire from the mortar. Nice position on the other side of the road. Pressuring Fortune's advance. And the prodding and then Fortune. There we go. Retreat there. Just too many threats against them. So what will Fortune go for next? What will he be planning for next? Medium armor. Howitzer. Oh, can't say anticipated that. He's actually going for the 250 half track. And generally you only see like the mechanized assault group, but you generally don't see the mechanized grenadier group at all. But here he is, popping the grenadiers out. I'm guessing he's going to stuff the panzer grenadiers inside there, instead forming up a improvised mechanized assault group. Which you generally don't see very often, if at all. But there you go. All the way got the 250 half track out of there, made by D-Mac by the way, another company. Was primarily used by reconnaissance battalions, though if any sort of panzer grenadier divisions were supposed to have the 251s needed it, they probably could have 250s instead. Got a command tank rolling ahead here. Crushing over the rifleman, getting pelted with anti-tank rifle grenades. Needs to be careful he doesn't get swarmed by a tank. He's got the pack 40 moving up there, he's going to need some infantry support, and there you go. Troops more or less at the ready. We got the half to go, so good to go, though that's obviously not going to help much against a tank. Scott following up there for Tomakaze up to deal with the infantry. Pack 40 setting up, they need to be careful with the EC8 there. We got the smoke screen down, having seen one of them. Has he seen the other? And there you go, we got the Panzer Reserve rolling straight down the middle of the road. Ooh, direct hit there already. Poor Otto is dead. Stuck behind the half track now. But there you go, moving ahead, getting the reactions out in the open. Then decides not to. 9 shoulders his plan is here, but needs to be careful with the half track. Be ashamed to already lose it, and for that matter, lose the Panzer Grenadiers inside the 250 half track, which were ruled by I think 1944-45 would slowly be put out of production. Well, other production will specifically be shifted towards making armoured cars out of the chassis, with reconnaissance units then getting the 250 half track use as well. There you go, Scott lands a hit there, almost taking out the half track, almost wiping the Panzer Grenadiers in the process as well. Oh dear. And it barely avoids the Telemines, so damn close there. And this got rifle versus Grenadiers here, light machine gun fire, cutting them down out in the open. Scott versus the MD-42 here. EC8 hanging back in support, could do some repairs first though. Not entirely already popped out the crew there, I'm guessing that was a risk kick there by Tomakaze. More reinforcements arriving there for him, having lost some. He got a smoke screen down from the EC8 to try and buy them time to get back inside the half track. Not entirely sure what happened there for Tomakaze though. Right moving in, we got the pack 40 there blasting away. He could have tried maybe smoking the machine gun itself. Oh, we need to get the Scott out there. Will he avoid the Telemines again? Or, nope, this time no such luck. Scott goes up and the flames munitions cooked off. Like cheap fireworks in the oven. Half track's going to need some repairs, but the half track is actually still functional after that. Still functional. Technically, though, of course, they would have had a machine gun mount on the front to support the infantry. And technically, there'd also be the option there for mounting a machine gun on the rear there. But technically, the one on the front was part of the half track itself. Whatever was mounted on the rear was usually part of the unit actually riding along inside the half track. Fun fact there. Fun fact there. Also, fun fact, there were slight variations to this one, for example, including the one we noticed the anti-tank half-track from Companies 1 was actually the platoon command vehicle. There was also a version with a 75mm cannons that meant for infantry support. That was also part of these units. Little fun fact there. Which probably would have had more possible for actual anti-tank support with 8th 75mm heat round or something like that. Well, they showing all the way there for Tomakaze. Captain Morty moving up here. Tomakaze in good control of the map here. No attempt to caches maybe there. EC8 Captain engaging the command tank, falling back, but there you go, command tank trying to bait him into the pack line. There we go. Straight into a small pack front there from Fortune. The EC8 needs to be very quick. Oh dear, he's got Panzerfaust right in front of the pack front. That is pretty bad news there for Tomakaze and the second armoured. And that's going to go down in a matter of moments, I think. He's laying down smoke screen there, but the problem is the command tank, there we go, drives right past it and knocks it out. Not good there for Tomakaze, not good. He needs to be careful that his tanks obviously need to support them properly with infantry. You know, we got the half track when it's going to go straight for the rifleman. Panzer is firing anything we got outside from inside the half track there. Shredding the rifleman there, go full wipe there, assisted by the MD-42 inside the house here. Very good work there by Fortune, not so good there for Tomakaze, caught him off guard, and he's beginning to actually bleed out in infantry, which is certainly something he needs to be careful with. Very careful. Have to consider set out, look for targets to completely shoot to bits, and the Panzer Grenadiers themselves are getting very close to reaching the feed. Sherman mobilised there for the second armour to that way take on the Krauts. Another EC8 with the 50 caliber on the way. Did he use the captain to supervise? Doesn't look like it though. It is a good idea, by the way. Move straight for the reactions there. Sturmgewehrs blasting away. And we got there you go, reactions on the run. We got there 15. There you go. Takes a hit from the EC8, and poor Hans is flung out from the front of the half track. Oh, gets out in time. Half track this time lost. Panzers get away. Still, probably one of the longer living 250 half tanks I've seen in some time, and certainly the first Mechanized Grenadier group I've probably seen this year, almost at least several months. Again, you generally don't see that one used particularly much, but Fortune went there. Fortune went there. He's also finally taking up there. Bunker attempted here by the Cough Point, but that's quickly disrupted here by the arrival of the captain and his merry band of Yankees. Okay, then we got rifling over against the Grenadier, or Captain there. Nicely dodged there. And up close, the Grenadiers will lose out to the Captain there with his Thompson submachine gun, as it will just can outpower them alongside the few M1 Garancy units also has. So There you go. Fortune's going to do his forced weight. Without a light machine gun, they really stood no chance there. Or for that matter, Panzer's support could also work out. We got Grenadiers with a BAR, literally 2. Versus Raven. There you go. We got grenades up for Tomakaze, increasing his firepower there and catching Fortune off guard, leaving his men brutalized. Tomakaze's EC8 good to go again. Fortune still not quite there. So all of the harassment from Tomakaze on the fuel is not helping out Fortune. On the other hand, the constant manpower bleed for Tomakaze is not helping him out either, as it does allow Fortune to actually hold the infantry advantage. Particularly again with veteran 3 Panzer Grenadiers, Fortune has quite the edge there, as long as he utilises it correctly. Sweeping up the west side of the map here. Support one's coming up. There you go. We got the command tank aiming straight for the rifle, engaging them with impunity. Last thing with the high explosive rounds to go. We got the EC8 moving out. And direct hit there, easily penetrating the armour of the command tank. Grenadiers, mortar, Panzer Grenadiers all at the front line. Double packs, of course, the command tank here. So Fortune's plan is actually try and play straight for tier 4. A very bold and audacious plan there from Fortune. Very bold and audacious. Might need a fuel cache or 2, I think, though, to really make it work. But a well-handled Panda would not be a bad choice of resolve the EC8. Then again, a pair of Stooks will also do the trick quite nicely. And the rest they're going to use with the BAR pushes back those Yankees. Quite a bit of firepower in the hands of those Germans. MB42 back in the spot. 18 kills, close to 23 here. Pearson being forced back. Lieutenant moving ahead. And we got the EC8 moving westwards. They're going to need to pick up around victory point. There you go. Direct hit on Jorgen. Actually annihilating him. With the captain carrying the retreat path as well. Then another kill there. And we got a howitzer now going up for Fortune, and the Panzer Division adding some artillery there of a more serious caliber. He's also managed to actually steal his opponent's mortar as well. Which means that Fortune will be in possession of quite the artillery advantage there versus Tomakaze. I mean, a howitzer and 2 mortars will be quite the trick there for Tomakaze. He was actually gone for Lieutenant now, and thus the also 50 caliber to help control the field. Not a bad idea. Also the howitzers hereby, which makes it a bit harder there for Tomakaze to easily get to, and he should be able to control most of the map though with his range. So pretty good setup there. Pretty good setup. We've got the command tank there versus the captain. Bazookas though not having much of an impact there. You see it blasting away at the Grenadiers.
Heavy machine gun team, ready for orders.
And a 50 caliber there, number 2 up from Tomakaze to help control Fortune's infantry. Not a bad idea, not a bad idea. Here we go, veteran 3 Panzers versus veteran 3 rifle with BARs. Panzers in a matter of moments make short work of the rifle up, particularly because they don't try and engage the Panzer Grenadiers, which further allows the Panzer with 3 hits. But as soon as they get focused down, they of course they suffer some damage, but ultimately though, the rifle force when the lieutenant himself trying to support the rifle was suppressed by the MD-42, further pushing things into favour here of the Panzer Grenadier. MD-42 almost been wiped out here by the EC8. Panzers then continue their relentless assault, cutting down Americans left and right until finally a 50 caliber there gets up to stop them. And now here Fortune just has to retreat this Panzer Grenadiers before they get wiped or, you know, killed in other unnecessary ways. There you go, we got double packs there, smoke screen down. Panzer there finally pinned down, and Fortune finally also just accepts he has to retreat them. You see it landing another nasty hit there. Howitzer there, also going to set up. He's basically knows he's just forced his opponent to retreat a lot of troops, so he's going to fire straight to the base to have a chance there wiping some things there. I mean, this is probably the best time there to actually fire at his base, so definitely makes a lot of sense there. Oh, direct hit there. Almost wiped the captain. Almost wiped the lieutenant. 6 kills already. Direct hit on the ambulance. How horrific. And then we got attack here, forcing back Tomakaze's little toehold there on the eastern side of the map. We got a 50 cover there, they're sneaking up from the west. We lost something there. I'm guessing though it was the major by the sound of things. Like our white also lost the 50 cover machine gun there. So Tomakaze is certainly suffering there to Fortune's howitzer. Overall good decision there. Again, not just blind firing and relying on well good fortune, but actually knowing sort of general idea when your opponent actually has troops there and then bombarding it. Wiping the lieutenant in the end there. Looks like Tomakaze just sort of thought it had run out of shots, in which case he was proven wrong. Oh wait, that was a really devastating barrage there against Tomakaze by Fortune's howitzer. 12 kills, veterans in 1, including 1 ambulance. That is no big barrage. And what's this? We've got smoke down here. I believe he's using it for reconnaissance, just to be able to fly with on his base to see what he's doing there. Nice trick there by Fortune. Also sitting on munitions caches. Not sitting up there for faster Panthers or anything like that. He is building more munitions caches. Got a smoke screen down here. Not entirely sure if we've done them. Guessing it's a misclick of some sort. By Tomakaze there. Firing around here, it seems, for some reason. Not entirely sure what he was hoping for there, but certainly seems like a waste of a good barrage, unless there's some kind of clever psychological scheme going on there. 200 points left there for Tomakaze and the second armoured. Panzer there, Panzer is shown there, still not bringing up its biggest tanks. Second EC almost done there for Tomakaze. We got the command tank up with a 50 caliber machine gun. Big creation assault here with bazookas aplenty. And that does compel Fortune to pull back his tank. Good thing he moved though, I was going to risk losing a lot of resistance that time and going off beneath their feet. And he's, oh, they're going to move straight from the half trigger if they're not careful. Bazooka fire not really impacting, he's just not trying to standing still for long enough. We got white phosphorus called down again on the gun this time around. East hit moving ahead. Need to be a bit careful there. I've got an east hit moving up the eastern side on its own with no support here. And again, there's not really much to stop it either. There's no mines, anti-tank guns, and certainly no tanks to really stop the EC8. He's focusing more on the panzer gunners and say the support weapons which we've seen a dispatch, maybe stolen a few there, and turn them against Fortune. Back forward, they're opening up the EC8, getting flanked here by another EC8. Rear echelons and caps got past the charging forwards. They're guarding the captain and the rear echelons in a matter of moment while the EC8 continues its prowl for the Pack 40. Fortune thereby finally taken up. He can actually soon go for the Panther, but right now he's saying that they will probably underestimate the potential of another Pack 40. And there you go, gets hit. Instead he smokes and then righteous hit while the other EC8 moves from the north. Not bad, but needs to get the first one out of here. He's pushing, I think, it's like a bit too far versus Fortune. They might have a small chance of getting the Pack 40s. They're still going to be pretty risky there, I think. Since there's no aim for support for, we got a 50 over there standing about. Rifle they need to retreat. Grenade here from the lone rifle, got the Pack 4 there firing away. And we got white phosphorus and smoke bombs called down. These are basically both places now smoking this small area of the map that's basically just trying to save the tanks and the anti-tank guns. So that was a rather chaotic load of smoke there. But fortunately there, got the fuel, he's almost got the manpower that we can bring up a Panther that way challenge to Tomakaze. We're still maintaining good map control here against Fortune. Despite Fortune having more infantry and more veteran elite infantry packing, he's got a lot more here than Tomakaze. But Tomakaze's aggressive tank action though is making it harder there for Fortune to just do what he wants. Need to retreat that 50 go forward too late though. Tomakaze, Scheisse, wiped. Bit of a waste there, bit of waste. could have been avoided, I think. He needs to get to work on his tanks then, fix them up. You could also consider supporting them with a Jackson tank destroyer. Fortune started by now at Veterancy 2 with 21 kills. He easily has the resources, but so far he's not committing them towards Panther, Sturmpanther or Panther effort. So hard to say there what Fortune is exactly thinking here versus opponent. Captain though needs to fall back again. There's just too much German artillery support here with the mortars, and of course the howitzer is always a constant threat as well. Panther going to do this straight to the 5th cover. There we got the command tank on this much support. We got these hits moving in, roughing it off, and he loses a second one. Better two on the command tank, but still not a good engagement there for Tomakaze. Needs to try and flank harder against Fortune rather than looking to engage him head on. 5th cover there utterly destroyed. Quite a loss there for Tomakaze, and the second one's going to be destroyed as well there. Fortune has no interest in inferior American Scheiße. One moving ahead. They could actually go for the third one. I could also go for the Jackson. He could of course just try and get more infantry out. Though if he does decide to commit to more tanks, I think he does need to use them with a bit more panache, a bit more imagination at times, rather than just trying to drive straight into his opponent. He needs to try and look for the weak spots and hit them really hard. Teleman's down there to cover the flank. He's expecting a flank, then try and hit from howitzer. Definitely not a bad idea. Committing both tanks. What's he doing there? Trying to flank his opponent. We can see the Fortune extent seems to be expecting it there. Oh dear, he needs to clear out the Pack 40s first. Nope, he's smoking them with these shades. Good work there, good work smoking on the move. And he goes for the howitzer, but there you go. We can see Fortune calling in smoke bombs to save it, preventing him from easily targeting it. And because he also has to also deal with other threats, he's better off now just trying to retreat the ECH. There we go. Wipe the Pack 40. We got infantry from north here. Well, what little infantry's got left. Command to netting hits from the ECH. He's basically drawing around circles here with the Pack 40 there. Could he wipe it? In which case, there's going to be nothing to support. We got howitzer firing at point blank range. Technically, though, most howitzers have actually had a few anti-tank rounds in case they did get attacked by tanks, by the way. In fact, early in the war, it was not uncommon for the Germans to use the howitzers as anti-tank guns against the Russians, for example, because their regular ones didn't cut it. So that's a little fun fact there. Pack 40 recruited by his veteran, the Fleet Panther, is lucky he didn't get the wipe. That would have been quite costly. Meanwhile, the big push up here before a 2-up maneuver, most of them being flanked as well, dealt with. Going straight for the Pack 40, but up close, need to be careful. They need to be careful. It'd be a shame here for Tomakaze to throw away his tank. He's also got a regular Sherman moving out. He could soon go for another Sherman, in which case he's going to have 4 Shermans. It's going to be really difficult there for Fortune to deal with. In particular, since the Pack 40 there has been abandoned, he should definitely either seize it or destroy it. What he should not do is just allow it to lie around there. So he needs to make a decision on the Pack 40 destruction or acquisition. He could also try and secure the mortar, but we got the cash down to fire. Fortune showing on the back foot again. Buying the auto volley, going for a Panther there. Fortune definitely, I think, you're delayed there too long. Should have been faster to get out a Panther. That would have helped you a ton. So that's definitely a bit of a mistake there by Fortune. Definitely a bit of a mistake there by Fortune. Still no real decision on the anti-tank guns. How to find directly on the seat, landing a good hit there. Half H veteran, 300 points left here for Tomakaze. So many Shermans. So much death and so many anti-tank guns abandoned, not being destroyed. That one definitely feels like a mistake by Tomakaze. My best guess is he just overlooks it because he's got other priorities like his tanks, but that's definitely a missed opportunity to deny Fortune an anti-tank weapon, which is definitely something Tomakaze also do. I mean, generally as a rule of thumb, if you can't seize an anti-tank and don't want to, you destroy it. You do not allow the anti-tank guns to lay around because it can easily be turned against you again. That definitely feels like a bit of a mistake there. But we got our 3rd ECA on the way. There'll be a 4th Sherman in total here for Tomakaze. That's going to be a lot of tanks. That'll definitely be a arm advantage there for him. We go. Panther out there for Fortune and the Panzer Division. Up close to EC8 versus the Panther, both penetrating the other. Obviously not so much surprise there for the Panther since it has better penetration than the EC8 there. Higher velocity gun, which means better penetration. EC8's falling back in the west here. We got Sherman versus Grenadiers. And we got the other EC8 moving up through here as well. So again, he's got a sizable advantage over Fortune now. 4 tanks. Whereas Fortune is leading with infantry, and of course he's got a Panther support by a command tank, which is definitely not bad either in terms of armour, though of course he needs to be careful this Panther does not get swamped. He needs to maintain as optimal distance as possible between the Panther and the Sherman tanks. And we're going to push up here with EC8. Big push here, Pack 40 supporting the Panther. Bit risky though, since it's an actual infantry support, no real way of scouting it. Of course there's the spotting surface in the Panther, which you should note though only work when it's not bloody well moving. Bit risky about Fortune though. Would say he's using the Panther most efficiently, where there's getting a bit lucky here. In particular, since the Sherman's only firing high explosive rounds, though. That definitely feels like a mistake. There you go, Pack 40 supporting, need to pull back the EC8 before they get wiped here. By the Pack front supporting the Panther. There's a lot of anti-tank firepower, and that's definitely something that could cut those Shermans to ribbons in a matter of moments if Tomakaze is not careful. Got the EC8 moving up the eastern side here, supported by the echelons. Eventually, the 3 Puncher's got a smoke screen directly on the command tank going again here for the howitzer. Will Fortune go for the smoke bombs again? He goes for the smoke bombs again to cover up his howitzer. EC8 misses, and there you go. Now it's going to be too late again to deal with it easily. Courtesy of the Luftwaffe. That is definitely some advanced smoke bombing there from Fortune. I mean, that's really the first time I've actually seen someone use smoke bombs to save their own howitzer. EC8 on the run here, so we got the Panther and the command tank committed to its destruction. There we go, lands a good hit on the EC8. On its own, it's definitely in a bit of a stick situation. We've got Bazooka Father here from the flank, getting off the hits on the command tank. He's covered the Panther again. He's getting a bit overconfident, maybe. But there you go, stops up again, making use of the range. In this case, there's slightly moving before firing, in which case it gets, quite a penalty on the move there to shoot. So there you go. Tanks are continuing ahead. They need to cover the Panther. He's got Pack 40. Got Panther going to use with the Bazooka. Other Pack 40 moving up here. Smoke screens on the Pack 40. Great big assault here. He is almost committing every tank. There seems like one regular Sherman coming in for a deeper flank, but there he goes, bursting through the lines. Pack 40 can't do anything. The command tank goes down. Oh, snot biscuits. White Frost is called down as well on the anti-tank guns. Only one that really caught here. Outmaneuvering here the Panther. EC8 down, Panther down, Pack 40 almost down here. Where's the infantry support? That there's nothing here. The other Sherman is not doing anything either. Big mistake here, isolating the EC8 in the midst of all this. You should have more support than moving in as fast as possible. Now, Fortune has a chance to bring up his infantry, though his Panther and he could perhaps be a bit better there to sort of bring it to safety faster. All the way, the ace level EC8, but again, where's the rest of the support? It's not there. Pack 40 recruit. Finally got the other Sherman moving out there for Tomakaze, but that was definitely something that executed better, and also would help, had he had more infantry. In fact, he's throwing a lot of manpower. Right here, a few mistakes that sort of have been happening throughout the match. He's now catching up to Tomakaze, allowing Fortune to really sort of otherwise decimate. I mean, had Tomakaze had more infantry support for this, he probably could have beaten Fortune right then and there. But again, because there was no infantry support here for the tanks, they ultimately couldn't do enough here and were ultimately swarmed by infantry and then disabled by the anti-tank guns. Panther was almost done there for Fortune. Tomakaze going for another Sherman. He is still fighting. It certainly seems a bit desperate more than anything now. And that seems pretty horrific. Still, Tomakaze still got most of the map, but again, that's going to be at a very sort of short leash because again, he can't defend it anymore now. And there's still the howitzer there, still at 21 kills, not 22 kills. And still very close to victory. We've got the second Panther running ahead here for Fortune and the Panzerlehr. He's hit for Tomakaze. Not going for infantry again. He's floating a lot of manpower, but there's no rifle and nobody else has been trained there. Has he just like given up on them? Because that's honestly silly again. I mean, just a few rifle scopes there could have done a ton for him. Something being recruited and made off with, but he's losing units in the process. 25 kills. Going for an anti-tank gun, rather late for that as well, I feel. Though again, overall, I do feel like she just brought up more infantry. Not entirely sure how many other Tomakaze is going for the lieutenant now. He could also replace the lieutenant, ages ago. So seems like Tomakaze might at the end of the game be getting a bit, stressed out. At least after 40 minutes, feeling a bit exhausted. There you go, finally going for a nice, just pushing all cylinders he can. But the problem is again, it's rather too late. I mean, he's just lost his entire armoured force of 4 Sherman tanks because there was some infantry support, but also part because there was something that didn't quite work out there as well. So the coordination lacked a bit. We got more smoke bombs here in this case though. once more, imagine simply for the reconnaissance purpose. Clearly Fortune is very confident in how to use smoke bombs for different ways. Utilitarian in the art of smoke bombing.
Send your orders.
Panzer Grenadier advancing, quickly supported by the Panther. Pioneers to 9 house. We've got the EC moving down here. Catching the Grenadiers trying to bunker up by the victory point.
Enemy has destroyed one of our forward
Force naturally destroyed. Tomakaze took his got bunkered up against the rifleman and didn't do much. The grenade for the Panther instead forced them to retreat. There you go. Tomakaze with the infantry has some steam back in him. The question is, can he maintain this level of steam versus Fortune again with much more infantry and certainly more veteran infantry, machine guns, and of course the Panther, and of course not to forget as well the bloody howitzer. Taking hits on the Panther from the anti-tank gun, firing RPS rounds there, and the EC8 needs to pull back the Panther pretty fast. Packable there is blocking a bit the pathing. Almost lost the Panther there. That's pretty bad for Fortune. Some bad luck, or a lack of good fortune. Grenadiers versus Rifleman here by the western munitions point. It's tries to push ahead there, trying to just lead out Tomakaze the last of the way here. As Tomakaze has shown himself to be a rather persistent player, and actually slowly somehow scratching his way back onto the map here. But the problem is he just doesn't have the time for it long term, so he needs to pull off something really brilliant here versus Fortune, or Fortune needs to make a big mistake. We'll have to see what happens there. Unfortunately, they could be flank dealt with, doesn't care about it. Move straight ahead for the victory point in the south. We got the house, they continue to bombard the base, 25 kills still. Very close to enemy fleet. Mortar wiped out, most likely by enemy mortar fire. Command tank number 2 up there for Fortune and the Panzer Division. Bazooka fire and munitions cache actually rebuilt. Interesting enough again, no fuel cache. There's more focus on the munitions for rifle grenades and likes, but also smoke bombs, I guess. At which point it certainly makes a lot of sense. Command tanks range the EC8 there, the 76mm gun penetrating the arm. Command tanks, 80mm of armour. Base hardened steel. We got Rifle versus Grenadiers in the west, BARs versus LMG-42. Double BARs, in fact we got a sprint here. Using fire up to just quickly push out for the victory point. He's down to 41 points here, and there you go. Successfully pushed back the Grenadiers here with determination and belief in the American dream. Panzer Grenadier there with Bazooka getting off a small hit there. We got Grenadiers, MG42 moving hit gun, a Panther fast. We got the command tank supporting, and the Panther's almost good to go there for Fortune. There you go. A lot of fire there on the EC8. Smoke's been laid down. Overall, Tomakaze has been very good at utilising the smoke screen available on the EC8 there, actually. I mean, not a lot of players are actually really good at it, but generally sort of being able to use the smoke screen effectively on the tank can actually do a lot for you doing assaults. Again, you can, as you saw, for example, doing that with big assault there, disable your opponents and the tank guns, essentially by preventing them from being able to easily shoot at you. So, I mean, in that regard, it's actually displayed some good abilities, just he lacked the infantry support. Just lack the infantry support to really make the best use. But there you go, Panther going straight for the EC8, and it's going to be able to disable it. Grenade over the anti-tank gun, and with this, I think Tomakaze is pretty much all out of hope. And this, Tomakaze has also realised that he surrenders. A victory for Germany. The Panzer Division, a brutal slaughter here on Angoville. Fortune certainly looking in a rough spot for 0 points. Again, his play for tier 4 was rather risky, but it pulled through thanks to Panzer Grenadiers, some good manoeuvres and some of Tomakaze's own mistakes, as Tomakaze was really not good at replacing his infantry losses, which I think was a definite mistake. There was no 10-minute fuel cache either, maybe that way keep up pressure with the tanks either. And, you know, by the time again we had a lot of tanks, he did not have sufficient infantry to support it, which again could have, you know, pretty much been the game-winning moment there. Had he had just a few more infantry squads, a lieutenant there, I think he probably could have crashed Fortune and stolen his Pack 40. It's also a big mistake not destroying that Pack 40 there earlier when he actually had the chance. That was a really big mistake there by Tomakaze. But overall, I think a nice match here with some nice moves to the Fortune again. He actually made full use of the entire German mechanized doctrine. That is extremely rare. Most people only use it for like the command tank, the spotting scopes, maybe the howitzer a bit as well. But like the mechanized Grenadier group generally doesn't see usage. And smoke bombs also tend to be on the rarer side, but Fortune made full use of it. That's impressive. Similarly though, Tomakaze I think made almost full use as well, except for Rifleman flares. So I mean, in that regard again, both players made lots of good tactical moves, which is strategically Tomakaze was a bit weaker than Fortune, who sort of took a longer sight or sort of longer perspective in the game and sort of pulled through with that on Tomakaze. So well played with both there, but ultimately Fortune just persevered a bit better. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe to the friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in replay and some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing Cheese. Thank you for watching. And of course, a big thanks to all of my Patreon support as well. You are what allows me to do this on a daily basis. So thank you all, and see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Cheers.